This video is brought to you by the Deck of Many and their Big Bad Booklet series. Hello and welcome back to the Gallant Goblin. Today I have another interesting set of dungeon terrain to share with you. These sets are from Dungeons Lasers, who sent us this review set to share with you. These sets are designed to be modular, affordable, and easy to assemble. And they come in both a fantasy set and a sci-fi set. And let me tell you, modular sci-fi terrain is hard to come by outside of the 3D printing market. These sets come unpainted and on sprues, so they do take a little bit of initial prep, but that's what helps make them affordable. The initial set of Dungeons Lasers terrain came with a set of scatter terrain objects, like stairs and trees and altars and columns and portals and stocks and sci-fi capsules and beds and consoles, among many other things. We're going to review this set in a separate video because there's so much in it to share with you. For now, let's get a better look at the Dungeons Lasers terrain. When you first take the tiles out of the box, they're on sprues like this. At first I thought I needed my little clippers to get the tiles off the sprues, but I quickly realized that they just snap off pretty cleanly when you bend them. You may want to clean them up a bit afterward with some clippers or an X-Acto knife if you'd like them to look perfect, but they were pretty much good enough for me right off the sprue. Included in the fantasy box are 78 double connectors, 20 single connectors, 14 4-inch walls, 27 2-inch walls, 7 2-inch walls with an archway, 6 2x2 floor tiles with a grate, 12 2x2 floor tiles with a standard design, and 12 2x4-inch floor tiles. The sci-fi box has pretty much an identical distribution. Included in the sci-fi box are 78 double connectors, 20 single connectors, 14 4-inch walls, 27 2-inch walls, 7 2-inch walls with an archway, 6 2x2-inch floor tiles, 12 2x2 floor tiles with an alternative design, and 12 2x4-inch floor tiles. So, for each of these core sets, you get 168 1-inch tiles of floor space to play with. Putting your build together is quite easy. Just flip the tiles over, attach either a single connector or a double connector, depending on whether you want to attach two floor tiles together or just a floor and a wall. And then start connecting your tiles. The connectors fit quite snugly, as you'd want them to, so it does take a little bit of pressure to get them in sometimes. Once your floors are together, you can slot your walls and doors in quite easily. The fantasy design features brick walls and doors, little gratings along the bottom of the walls for water to flow out, and some cracked stone and bricked up windows and doors. The set comes unpainted in this dark gray color. The walls are full height, 2 inches, which is 10 feet in game terms in both D&D and Pathfinder. Your minis will fit in just fine, as you can see. The sci-fi set includes corrugated steel floors, panels, conduits, canisters, power supplies, and all sorts of little details that make it look like the interior of a functional mid-tech kind of space station or starship. Here you can see some unpainted Starfinder minis who fit right in. And note that even with larger, medium-sized minis like our Vesk friend here, you can fit two minis next to each other side by side without any problems. Here's a sample build using just the Fantasy Core Set. This build used pretty much all the pieces I had except for a couple of the connectors. As you can see, I was able to build out several medium-sized rooms and hallways with just one set. Since the smallest floor pieces are still 2x2, you can't build any 5-foot hallways with this set, and of course you're limited to 90-degree wall formations. But for the price, you get quite a lot for your money. Here it is populated with some scatter terrain and minis. This isn't the scatter terrain from the Dungeons Lasers stretch goal box just yet, but a lot of that will serve a similar purpose. As you can see, it's quite easy to make functional rooms with this set. Now, another thing that sets this terrain apart from some of their competitors is that this set arrives unpainted. I wanted to try a very quick paint job of my own to see how they would look. Here's my first attempt at painting the fantasy set. This was a 3-step painting process. I just primed the tiles with some flat black spray paint, then painted a few random rocks to give them some variety, and then dry brushed the whole thing to bring out the details. You can use your own creative mind and talent to make these look however you like. I just wanted to do something quick to see what was possible. Another thing you may be wondering is why a lot of the walls have those little holes in them. Well, that's to hang some accessories. The The stretch goal box has quite a few little decorations that you can attach to your walls, including shields, turrets, control panels, all sorts of stuff. If you want to really clean up your build, there's one more little attention to detail I'll point out. When you have two floor tiles attached to each other but no wall between them, there's still this little unused hole between the tiles. Each set comes with a lot of these little plugs if you want to fill the hole and make your build look a little bit more neat. Let's see another build I did with the sci-fi set. Again, the number of pieces is the same as the fantasy set, but I tried putting them together in a slightly different way with one larger room with a more interesting shape. You can really put these builds together very quickly. This one took me between 5 and 10 minutes tops. Here it is, populated with some Archon Studio Starfinder minis, which we'll be reviewing soon, so consider this a preview. I don't have much sci-fi scatter terrain yet, but when I bust out that stretch goal box, I'll certainly have a lot more to add to this build. Now let's see what the two base sets look like together on the gaming table. You likely won't be mixing your fantasy and sci-fi sets, though you never know. The adventure I wrote for DM's Guild called I Am Your World features some interesting sci-fi twists, and it's currently on sale. As you can see, the two sets together pretty much fill up my gaming table, which is quite a feat. Another interesting feature of the Dungeons Lasers terrain is that it's stackable. It's quite easy to pick up a room and just plop it down on top of another room. For actual gameplay purposes, you may need to move the second floor back to the table if players want access to the underlying room, but it's pretty cool to be able to do that. The stretch goal box even includes a couple of different staircases to link the various levels of your dungeon together. You can pick up a base set of Dungeons Lasers terrain for $40 plus shipping from the link in the video description below. The stretch goal box is $20 plus shipping. They have a lot of other add-on packs as well, including minis, stairs, pillars, doors, and extra connectors. One neat thing you can add on are specialty rooms with different wall and floor designs. Each room set contains 3 long walls, 6 short walls, 3 long floors, 3 short floors, and 3 doors. The rooms come in 6 different variants: Torture Chamber, Engine Room, Hall of Heroes, Xenogenesis Cell, Warlock Altar, and AI Center. Each room costs $20 plus shipping. Finally, Dungeons Lasers is launching a new Kickstarter to bring out a new set of dungeon terrain. There are lots of newly designed rooms, the inclusion of half walls, which are 1 inch high, as well as the full-size walls they already have, plus some cool-looking new dragon minis. If you're interested, you can visit DungeonsandLasers.com to learn more. The Kickstarter launches on August 25th, 2020. If you have any questions about the Dungeons & Lasers terrain, please leave them for me in the comments section down below. Many thanks to the folks at Dungeons & Lasers for sending me these sets to share with you. Also, as always, thanks to our sponsor, the Deck of Many. If you're a regular viewer of The Gallant Goblin, you've heard us talk a lot about the Big Bad Booklet series lately. I thought today we could flip through one together here. This is one we didn't talk about on the channel because the Deck of Many Kickstarter was going on that month, but this is the Prince in Ivory. Inside, first thing we have is a cool looking art piece that you can display to your players or just show on your wall somewhere. And then inside, we have the backstory of the prince, who is an archfey who sends minions out to the material plane to collect teeth. The booklet then gives us role-playing information about the boss, strategies and tactics he employs. There's adventure hooks for the party, depending on whether they're in a small village, a forest, or in a city. And then we get information about his castle, including some room descriptions, possible encounters, and we have on the next page lair information and lair actions for him, as well as information about his minions, including tooth sprites and tooth golems. And finally, we have the stat block for the prince himself. You can pick up previous editions of the Big Bad Booklet series on the Deck of Many web store, including the occasional free one, or you can subscribe like we did to get these printed editions. This month, come meet King Bllrk, a sentient gelatinous cube with a taste for the finer things in life and an army of chef goons at his disposal. He'll make you an offer you can't refuse. Learn more and subscribe today at bigbadbooklet.com. Thanks for watching today. I'm always really happy when I see folks watching all the way to the end here. If you're a fan of Starfinder, we'll have lots of treats for you coming up in the coming days and weeks, plus all sorts of D&D and Pathfinder content. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to join the conversation, get alerts on good sales and giveaways going on, and to get the latest news on tabletop RPGs. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time at the Gallant Goblin.